Well, I want to say thank you to Peg for coordinating this wonderful reading series. Thank you for having me. And thank you for all of you coming out on this stormy night. It's wonderful to see so many people here. I'm just going to read 3 poems, one from each of 3 different books. The first poem I'm going to read is from my new full-length collection, which is called Becoming an Ancestor. And as the title implies, these poems are about my ancestors, my contemporary family, my descendants, which means so far my grandchildren, and mortality. I'm going to read the first poem in this book, which is called Journeys. It does have metaphorical slings and arrows in it, things like war and pneumonia, storms at sea, arrest. Yeah, those are, I think those are slings and arrows. And this poem tells about some of the journeys that my ancestors made. And it's dedicated to my parents, Evelyn and Richard Lang. And it starts with an epigraph from William Faulkner. The past is never dead, it's not even past. And that's from Requiem for a Nun. Journeys. Rivers glitter. A warm rain spurs hunter-gatherers to migrate out of Africa, past the Red Sea, toward unnamed fields and seasons. Their descendants polish tools, plant peas and wheat, which starts the Neolithic revolution. It says so in all the rings my mother gave me of mitochondrial DNA. Glaciers take up so much water, my ancestors can walk across the Bering Strait. Through centuries they walk without a map or compass, all the way to Massachusetts, arriving thousands of years before my Anglo-Saxon forebears take their gods and goddesses to Sussex. Long before John and Peter de Peckham joined the Third Crusade. In a heaving sea, John Howland is swept off the Mayflower. He grabs a halyard. The crew snags his clothes with a boat hook to drag him back to the deck. In my double helices, he feasts with wampanogs on venison, roast goose, wild turkey, pumpkin, squash, plums, and berries under oaks with scarlet leaves. John Peckham renounces his father, lord of the manor in Sussex, wakes on a ship crowded with prisoners, driven by the wind's stiff whip toward Massachusetts Bay. A German baron loses a battle against King Wilhelm. His son and daughter-in-law flee. Their son, Bill Lang, finds his way to California, proposes to Ada Peckham on a boat, bobbing in the middle of a lake. With every breath I take, filling the elegant, finely branched trees of my lungs with oxygen, my mother's mother dies again of pneumonia in Massachusetts in the flu epidemic of 1918. And my mother comes over mountains, rivers, and plains to California, where she grows up to marry Bill and Ada's son. Over and over in my round and spindly cells where the past softly breathes, my mother, who told no one she was descended from the Pilgrims and the people of the first light who brought them corn and deer, names me Light. Over and over I ask myself, where am I going? How will I know when I'm there? And next I'm going to read a poem from my new chapbook from Blue Light Press, Dreaming of Sunflowers, which, as Peg mentioned, was a co-winner of the 2014 Blue Light Poetry Prize Prize, and my co-winner, my dear friend Naomi Ruth Lewinsky, is going to be reading tonight too. And it was really an amazing coincidence that we both won, because the judges obviously had no idea that we knew each other when they selected our manuscripts. So, and the subtitle of this book is Museum Poems, and all of the poems, in one way or another, have to do with my visits to museums and historical sites. And the poem that I'm going to read from this book is called At Dulles International, after visiting the Holocaust Museum. After passing security, I settle into a chair at gate C28 and cross my feet on the blue and gray industrial carpet. Eyes concealed by dark glasses, a gaunt man in loafers skims Newsweek. A wet or hungry baby starts to scream. A bald man holds a folded paper. A black man reads a thick gold book. A boy in Nikes can't sit still. Studying her boarding pass, a woman in bright red spike heels looks impatient as people wheel luggage this way and that. Each one lucky, each one blessed. Their shoes will not molder in piles coated with ash and dirt. One of the crowd, I tap my sandaled foot, taking notes in my little green book. So many people, rattled or calm, happy or not, young or old, going where they want to go. May it always be, I whisper low, Godspeed. And the last poem I'm going to read is from another of my poetry collections called The Curvature of Blue. And I selected this particular poem because it actually has a literal arrow in it. And the poem I'm going to read is called Because. My heart will beat 2 billion times because Krishna plays his flute in the forest, because the planets trace elliptical orbits, because Krishna's skin is blue, because a moon will fly in a straight line forever unless a planet snares it, the way a woman attracts a man with her gaze. I yearn for a touch to make me tremble, because Krishna dances ecstatically, because the laws of motion are the same on earth as in the heavens, because Krishna loves the cowherd wives. My completeness is an open question, because the statement I am in motion is meaningless, because electrons in motion create a magnetic field, because Krishna makes love with 12 women at once, because Krishna has 24 arms to caress him, because electricity and magnetism are one. I am no longer a desert lily, because the speed of light is the same for all observers, because Krishna marries the princess Rukmini, although Radha is his favorite gopi, because the order of 2 events can be different for observers on opposite sides of space. My edges are rough as the bark of a redwood, because 2 events cannot be reversed unless they can be simultaneous. Because Krishna serves as charioteer for Arjuna, because causality flows in one direction, because Krishna's brother and son are slain. The moment must be held like an emerald, because the fabric of space-time is woven in 4 dimensions, because a huntsman shoots an arrow into Krishna's heel, because a planet travels the straightest path through the mountains and canyons of space-time, the way the mind circles an idea, because the heart traverses the curvature of blue. In sleep, I hold hands with my lover, because time runs slower where gravity is stronger, because the arrow kills Krishna, because I cannot die, before I am conceived, because love is an abstract concept, because a field loves the sun, because a lake reflects the sky, because human love reflects the divine. Thank you.